a father and son in faith. The Apostle Paul, who traveled tirelessly to spread the gospel, arrived in the city of Lystra. His sandals were worn and his clothes were covered in dust, but his eyes shone with a warm love and passion for the world. Here, too, he was looking for brothers in faith to join him. The believers in Lystra told Paul about a young man. His name was Timothy, and he was well praised for the pure and deep faith passed down from his mother Eunice and his grandmother Lois. Paul wanted to meet this young man, and finally he sat face to face with Timothy in a home. As Paul spoke with Timothy, he saw the intelligence shining in his eyes and his sincere heart for God. Paul sensed that this young man would one day become a great worker for the gospel. He placed a hand on Timothy's shoulder and said, "My son, will you not join me on the road? Join this great journey of spreading the Lord's love." From that day on, Timothy became Paul's disciple and closest companion. They walked through countless cities and towns together. At night, sitting by the campfire, Paul would teach Timothy the deep truths of the Scriptures, sharing stories of the hardships he had faced and the grace of God that worked through them. The path of spreading the gospel was sometimes perilous. In one city, an angry crowd threatened to stone them. Young Timothy trembled with fear, but Paul stood in front of him and said quietly, "Do not be afraid. The Lord protects us." Behind Paul's broad back, Timothy learned what unwavering faith looked like. As Timothy grew in faith and wisdom, Paul began to entrust him with important missions. "Timothy," he said, "go to the church in Ephesus, care for the believers, and protect them from false teachings." Paul's voice was filled with the deep trust a father has for his son. As the years passed, Paul found himself imprisoned in a cold Roman cell. Though his body was not free, his heart was always with the churches he had planted and with his beloved spiritual son Timothy, ministering far away in Ephesus. From his prison cell, Paul wrote to Timothy with all his heart. "To Timothy, my true son in the faith, continue in what you have learned and have become convinced of. Be watchful in all things. Do the work of an evangelist." Every letter of the epistle was filled with a father's warm encouragement and earnest guidance. Timothy read Paul's letter day and night, engraving its words on his heart. It was a compass that showed him the way when he faced difficult problems, and it was the voice of his father giving him strength when he felt weary and alone. He led the church with love and courage, following Paul's teachings. Paul knew the race of his life was nearly finished. In his final letter, he confessed, "I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith," and expressed his desire to see Timothy one last time. Their relationship, which began as teacher and student and grew into that of a father and son, became one of the most beautiful stories of how a legacy of faith is passed on through love, transcending time.